Man, that was a big spider. Was a big spider. Don't judge. What's up and welcome to Clear and Safe. Today we're gonna do a review on the Walther PK380 because why not? So let's just dive right into it, guys. If you buy a Walther PK380 brand new, you're going to get a case. This case is going to contain the firearm, and it's not a very big case because the firearm's not very big. Now, this is a missed opportunity by Walther, because with this case, one thing you'll notice is that there's no place to lock the case, which, like I said, it's just a missed opportunity. It's not a make or break type deal, but if you're going to go through the trouble of making a case for a firearm as a producer of that firearm, you should at least make it to where the purchaser can lock it. That's just my opinion, guys. It may be a make or break situation for you, but it's not for me. So let's open up the case and we'll get right into it. So when you get it, I'm going to try to do this without spilling everything. This is basically what you're going to get. You're going to get a magazine, you're going to get the firearm, you're going to get a chamber lock, which I don't have in here because I've got too many of them, so I got rid of it. And you're going to get this little bit right here, and this is so you can take down the firearm and clean it and service it. It's just a key. That's all it is. So let's talk about this firearm. Now I'm going to show mine to you guys. I've already removed the magazine because there's rounds in the magazine and I don't want it in the firearm itself. And there's no rounds in the chamber, as you can probably somewhat tell. And it's also on safe. Let's talk about the first thing right here that I'm noticing, and that I've noticed when I first bought it. As you can tell, when you cock it back, the hammer gets locked back. So how do you fix that? I know if you're carrying either concealed or open carry, this bit can actually get caught up on your clothing or even in the holster itself and cause a misfire. So what you want to do with the magazine out, hold it with your thumb, pull the trigger, and ride it forward. That's how you do it, guys. And make sure it's on safe. Now, I haven't tried doing that with a round in the chamber because I'm afraid of what might happen. You know, maybe I'll take it out and I'll give it a go out on the range just to see if you can safely do that with a round in the chamber. But here, inside, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes because I want to make sure I give you guys the proper information. So, obviously, it's a 380. So, it's chambered in 380 ACP, which is this guy here. If it'll focus on it. Focus? Maybe? It's close enough, I guess. You get the idea. It's not a very big round. I'm totally blocking it from the light. It's not a big round. There we go. But that is what a 380 looks like. And I've got the flat tips. It doesn't really matter when you're target shooting, but there you have it. The magazine capacity is 8+1, so 8 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. The cost. Let's talk about the cost. I consider this a pro of this firearm because it's pretty cheap. Brand new, this cost me $400 and I want to say $25 after the background check. So that's not bad. I have seen it for cheaper at other places. Let's see, the cheapest I think I saw was $380 or $350, and the most expensive was like $480. So there's about $100 gap depending on where you go, who you buy from, and whatnot like that. What's next? Oh, the colors. This thing comes in so many different colors, guys. I was actually surprised. I've seen 3 different colors at my local gun store, and I thought that was it. But I was wrong. Way wrong. There's a lot of colors. So you can get this firearm in all black. You can get the nickel upper, black lower, like what you have here. They've got one that they call Angel Blue, and it's like a powdered blue color. I don't know why anybody would want that, but I guess people do. Oh, they have all black that have an attachable laser sight, and they have all black with one that's integrated in, which is non-detachable. They have one that's pink with a nickel upper. They have a pink with a black upper, and they have a purple with a black upper. So those are the colors. And that's empty. Let's talk about the weight. Empty, it's about 18 ounces. This is a really light handgun. The length, it's like 6 inches. The barrel, which is from here to here, is like 3 inches, a little over 3 inches. So I mean, it's a pretty compact firearm. I've seen firearms that are more compact than this, mind you, but for what you're getting, this is pretty compact. Let's go into some of the features. So things that I consider a pro with this firearm is you got a Picatinny rail right here. This is a pro, but it's also a con because there's only 2 slots on the rail. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Let's see. Maybe if I hold up something white. There we go. So you can see the 2 slots on the rail. It's a very short rail, guys. You're not going to be putting a whole lot of accessories on this. And the accessories you buy, you have to be very, very careful to get the right length, because if your accessory exceeds this gap here, it's not going to fit. The best way to avoid that, and I hate saying this, is to buy direct from Walther. You're going to pay more. You're going to pay more, but it's guaranteed to fit the firearm. They have 2 accessories. They have the laser, and they also have a flashlight. Crappy, kind of a missed opportunity. I think they could have at least put another notch in there somewhere, so you can at least adjust where your accessory is going to go if you choose to put one on there. But they didn't. And that's my biggest complaint with the Walther PK380, is that Walther has so many missed opportunities with this firearm. But anyways, let's move on. Another pro is it's very ambidextrous. A left-handed shooter, right-handed shooter will have no issues with this. The safety is ambidextrous. It's on both sides. And what else? Oh yeah, the mag release. The mag release, this is very interesting. And again, I might have to put this on a white background for you guys to really see it. And that doesn't even really help. But it's right here. And it's just a little paddle. You can kinda, sorta see it there. Let's do the white. And that doesn't really help too much either. Sorry guys, it fits so well into the the trigger guard that it's hard to see, alright? But it is just right here. And all you do is press down on it with either thumb, like that, or on the other side, just like that. And that releases the magazine, which is cool. I like that. I like ambidextrous firearms. I'm not ambidextrous, but if I happen to lose my ability to shoot and operate my strong hand, I want to be able to operate it with my weak. That's just me. It has to do with my time in the military. I want to be able to shoot back. Alright? And I want to be able to do it with efficiency, so I like ambidextrous firearms. The other pro, and this one I have never seen before, but I like it. And it's this little slit right here. You can barely see it because of the shadow. There we go. Now you can see it. So right here, that is a chamber viewport. And believe it or not, when a round is chambered, I'm not going to do it indoors. When a round is chambered, you can look right in there and see the round is actually in the chamber. And as you see here, the round is not in the chamber, which is nice because it takes the guesswork out of it if you bother to take the time to look. I still, because it's so ingrained in my training, I still check it manually, just like that. And I recommend you do that anyways. Always manually check the firearm to make sure that it's clear. Now, onto the cons. Now this one, I have a lot of issues with this. There's two of them. And there's more, but I don't really consider them cons. I consider them more missed opportunities. But the two, actually we'll call it three. The three things that I take issue with is the sights. Now the sights are pretty standard. You've got your fixed rear sights and you got a fixed front sight. I call it fixed. Walther, on their website, will tell you that the rear sight is adjustable for the windage. And yes, it is. But it is so frickin' difficult that it may as well just be fixed. You can't do it with your bare hands. You cannot do it. You literally need a pair of pliers to move that thing back and forth. You're not going to sit there, pop off a couple rounds out on the range, and easily adjust your windage. You're just not going to be able to do it. Even with a pair of pliers, it's very difficult. Why? Why, Walther? Why would you even bother making it that way? You know, every firearm that I have seen prior to this one that has an adjustable windage on the rear sight has at least a screw that you can put a little screwdriver in there and turn it, and it'll adjust it. If not, a whole knob. I understand not putting a knob on this firearm because it would look stupid, but why not just put a little set screw or a thumb screw in there or something that you can just take a little miniature screwdriver and turn it left or right to move the windage back and forth. I don't understand why they didn't do that. I don't. It's stupid. So I call it a fixed sight just because it's basically inoperational. The way they designed it, it's almost impossible to make it work. The next thing, and this is really interesting, this is the first firearm that I've owned that's done this. Now, it might be popular with other firearms, but all the ones that I've owned have never done this. And that is that. There is no slide lock. You cannot manually lock this slide to the rear. You just can't do it. You actually have to put the magazine in, and once the magazine is completely depleted, then it'll lock to the rear. And with that, There is no magazine release on this firearm either. And that, why isn't there a magazine release? Or not a magazine release, guys, sorry, a slide release. You know, just a little button, a little lever, something, you know, on either side, you know, up in here somewhere. How hard would it be to put something in there that will lock the slide back, and when you release it, drive the slide forward? With that, one thing I've noticed that I can do with this firearm is when I put in a new magazine after I've depleted the old one, the slide will be locked to the rear. When I put my magazine in, if I hit it with a medium amount of force, the slide will shut. To me, that's a safety issue. It should not be able to do that. You should be able to slap a magazine in there and then have to do one of these numbers to drive the slide forward, or to release the slide and let it drive forward. To me, that's a flaw in the firearm. It's a flaw in the design. You should be able to lock the slide back manually, just for safety purposes, just so somebody who you give the weapon to shoot can look down at it and go, yeah, it's clear, and then drive it home. I said there's 3 things. Oh, yes. The breakdown of this weapon. To take this firearm apart, as I've shown, let me get it out again. You need the key. You need this guy right here. And as you can see, it's got like a fork in there. And that's because it fits in, it fits in this little hole right here. And you can see kind of like a horizontal bar. That's where the key comes in. You have to put that key in there, just like that, turn it, and once it's turned, you slide back and bring it forward. But before you do that, there's this bit right here. You have to bring that down. I mean, it's... Guys, this is so ridiculous that you need a key in order to properly clean your firearm or to service the firearm. That's stupid. Now, I say need, and that's not entirely accurate. You don't need the key. A pair of needle nose pliers is all you need to actually get that in there and turn it. But you risk breaking that mechanism using a pair of needle nose pliers. So I wouldn't recommend using a pair of needle nose pliers, but it can be done if you need to, if you lose the key. Now, you can always write or call Walther and be like, hey, I lost my key, could you send me a new one? And they will, and they'll probably do it for free. But that's kind of it. As far as shooting goes, that's another, I'm going to say it's a con, but it probably differs from each Walther PK380. For me, it took about 400 rounds to break the firearm in. For those of you who don't know what that means, don't worry about it. I will explain that type of thing in another video, so just stay tuned. But I haven't had a firearm that took that many rounds to properly break in to where it will shoot accurately. I'm a little disappointed with that. I mean, we're looking at about $40 a box of ammo, so $40 for 50 rounds, depending on where you go, of course. So we're looking at what, 140, 80, 120. I'm having trouble with math. $160. So I'm looking at $160 just to break the firearm in, and that's not including tax. So it was probably closer to $200. I don't jive with that very well, guys. It shouldn't take that long. In my opinion, the manufacturer should already put at least 100 rounds through the firearm before it even goes out to sale, just to make sure there's no defects, just to make sure it's shooting properly. That's just my opinion. I know they're not going to do that because that's a waste of time, and if you waste time in a business, that means you're wasting money. But anyways, guys, I'm looking at my on-screen camera there, and I'm at 20 minutes, so I'm going to cut it there, guys. I've covered everything that I've really wanted to cover with the Walther PK380. It does shoot accurately once you break it in, so there's no real problem there. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than to start rambling. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Be safe, be cool, have fun, like and subscribe. I almost forgot that one. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks.